Today I'll be teaching us how to do a multi-nominal logistic regression. The data is on the sheet where you can see food will be the dependent variable, that is the type of food the respondents consume, and next is the health status of the respondents, the income and age. Now we'll go to the analytical part, click analyze, scroll down to regression. From there move on to multi-nominal logistic regression. So my dependent variable here is food. So I'll be clicking food and placing in dependent. So my reference category by default is last and I'm going to maintain the same. If the researcher feels he wants to compare it with the first category, you can compare it with first category, or you want to compare with the second or third, you can mention it as 2 and or 3, any one. I'll go by default, that is the last category, and I'll click continue. Any of this part is left to the researcher. Now next variable, age and income are continuous variables. That you have to place it in covariates, not in factor. In factor you will be using only ordinal and nominal variable and not a continuous variable. Now I am placing the health status, that is the ordinal variable, in the factor. Now next I'll move on to statistics. I will check goodness of fit and then click continue. Let everything be as default and click OK. So here you can see a warning appears, that is because we have got covariates, so you will have this warning. So there's nothing to worry about it, you can ignore it. Now next one, in the food there are 4 categories as already stated. Their respective N and the marginal percentage. The health status are categorized into 5 from poor to excellent. That also the respective marginal percentage. So the total sample size is 500. There's nothing missing. You can just scroll down by after explaining the marginal percentage, that is easy. The next we have to see the model fitting information. You see the final model, the chi-square value is significant, stating that the model is fit. Now in the case of goodness of fit, both Pearson and deviance chi-square value is not significant, which shows that the model is fit. Next is the pseudo R-square, which ranges from Cox-Snell to McFadden, where the percentage ranges from 6.3 to 15.5%. Anyhow, I'll just show you as to how you have to interpret in your research work. Now this has been already discussed, this particular part, that is covariates, there will be empty cells, you can ignore it. The dependent variable should be of nominal scale. If required, you can also use ordinal scale, there is no issue. And in covariates, always it should be a continuous variable. In the case of factor, it can be categorical variables. Now, if you want to analyze the continuous variable, you can recode that particular variable and then put it into the factor and then analyze. Now the hypothesis to be tested is there is no significant impact in the consumption of food of the respondents due to age, income and health status. So the alternate will be there is a significant impact. Now for model fitting information, you can say for this particular part, the write-up should be the model fitness was assessed using chi-square statistic. The chi-square value was 76.251 and the p-value was less than 0.05. So there is a significant relationship between the dependent and independent variable. Now next, in the case of goodness of fit, you see both the statistics prove that the model is fit because the p-value is greater than 0.05. Now your pseudo R-square, it accounts from 6.3% to 15.5%. So it represents a relatively decent size effects. Now next we have to go to the likelihood ratio test, where it shows that I'll just scroll down it and I'll minimize this and I'll scroll down. I'll just bring back the write-up. So for the likelihood ratio test, age, income and health are significant. So these predictors contribute significantly to the final model. This is how you have to write in your research work. Now with regard to parameter estimates, I have already copied it in a Word file to make it easy for you all to understand. You can just see the Word file as well as the results over here so that you'll have a better idea. 1 second. I just adjust over. Okay, fine. So you can see the first part is a vegan diet, the next is vegetarian, then the non-vegetarian, and the reference category I have placed it as last category. So my last category is both vegetarian and non-vegetarian, and in the case of health, the reference category is last, that is those whose health is excellent. This is poor, fair and so on. Now we'll go on to the analysis part. Now you have to see which is significant. You can see only age and income is significant in vegan diet. Now when it comes to vegetarian respondents, it is income and health. In the case of non-vegetarian respondents, none is significant. Now how to explain all this in your research work? Now we are going to see that. I'll just bring it back. A small adjustments. So among the vegan respondents, age and income had a significant impact on the food habits of the respondents. As age and income increases by 1 unit, the odds ratio or probability, any one word can be used, to increase the consumption of vegan, that is vegan diet, is relative or compared to the base. Your base reference will be your vegetarian and non-vegetarian respondents was more by 1.085 times and 1 times respectively. That is, for age it is 1.085 times and for income it is 1. So the vegan respondents are more likely to consume vegan diet due to the increase in age and income. This is how you have to infer the first part. The next part, the health. So you find that the health status of the vegan respondents when compared to the non-vegetarian and vegetarian respondents was not statistically significant. None is significant over here. So we'll just cross over. Now next we are going to the vegetarian category. So for those who are in the vegetarian category, income and health had a significant impact on the food habits of the respondents. As income increased by 1 unit, the probability or odds ratio to consume a vegetarian diet increases by 1 time. That is how you have to write. Now next one is the health part. You have to carefully explain this particular part. Now since this is in the covariate analysis, you have got just age and income. Since this come under the factor, you have got under different category, that is under those who are poor, those who are fair in health, those who are average, those who are good and those who are excellent. So excellent here is base over here. Now how to explain these variables? So the odds ratio or the probability of vegetarian category respondents whose health status was poor relative to or compared to vegetarian and non-vegetarian was 5.476 times likely to increase their vegetarian food than those who are excellent in their health. So please understand, first you have to compare with your base and later you have to compare it with your the final reference category, that is among the healthy category, which is the last category, that is a base category. That should be done. Similarly, those respondents whose health status is fair, when compared to that of vegetarian non-vegetarian, was 3.8 to 1 times likely to increase their vegetarian diet than those who are excellent in their health status. That means in the vegetarian category, respondents whose health status are poor and fair are more likely to increase their consumption of their vegetarian food. This is how you have to explain in your research.